Hey everybody, grab a glove. It's time for some baseball. On the first episode of the Diamond Report, we're going to touch them all for a look at some of the eye-popping events from last week. And then we're headed to Milford, where we're going to check out Foran's two lefties that could lead the Lions to a Class M title. One of those lefties could also be on a major league field one day, and that day could be coming up pretty soon. All that's up next. I'm Henry Chisholm, and this is the Diamond Report. Okay, let's get right to it. Let's start the show off with Touch 'em All. The season began last week on Wednesday, and it began with the bang for Shelton's Eric Christensen. He started the season with a leadoff solo home run in the first inning in Shelton's 8-3 win over Law. That was on Wednesday. Let's move to Friday. Rain kind of slowed some of the action down. There were 7 games that were actually postponed because of rain, but that didn't stop Fairfield Ludlow Zach Garofalo, who went out and won his first game of the season in a complete game shutout against West Hill. They won that game 5-0. Now let's move to Saturday. Okay, Saturday was a couple of blowouts, most notably no Canaan over Barlow 25-6. But there was a really good game. You had Amity and Branford. Amity just slipped by that one 3-2 on a bunt from Brian Kernan that drove in Nick Baviello in the top of the 7th. And that was on Saturday. Since that week is over, we're in a new week right now. Let's go back to last week again. Let's see who put on the best performance. We've got Brian Ward from Foran. In 2 games last week, Brian Ward had 2 home runs, and then he pitched the game that was last Wednesday against Sheehan. It was his first win of the year, and he threw 9 strikeouts in that game and only allowed 1 run in a complete game opening day win over Sheehan. That was Touch 'em All. Now let's go on deck. Brian Ward isn't the only Brian on his team with a strong arm. Brian O'Keefe has also been solid in the past and is doing a pretty good job this year as well. The 2 sensational southpaws are the subject of this week's On Deck. Brian Ward, who was a preseason All-American and is headed to UConn in the fall, has been getting some attention from some major league teams. He said 26 teams have shown interest in him.
Because, if you throw high 80s, especially from the left side, that'll generate some interest.
However, the gravity of getting major league attention for Brian Ward hasn't quite sunken in just yet.
No, not really. It's just a fun process talking to the teams and just fun process, and we'll take it one day at a time.
Who have you spoken to so far?
Like I said, just a lot of guys, a lot of scouts, part-time scouts, and the Northeast scouts about when they want to come out to see me and pitch and stuff.
And another fun process that Ward's been able to go through this season is playing alongside fellow lefty and next-door neighbor Brian O'Keefe.
Fun, matching what he does, he matches what I do, and we just have fun with it. Yeah, we're next-door neighbors, and we've always grown up like that.
And both players openly admit that they keep a close eye on what the other is doing, and that's developed into a friendly rivalry that they've had for a long time.
Yeah, I always try to match him, and we've grew up together and always had a competition. He's a year older, but yeah, it's fun because we're both good. So.
How long have you known each other?
Me and Brian since probably kindergarten, 1st grade, somewhere around there.
Did you guys go to the same school before you went to Foran?
Yeah, we went to elementary school and then middle school together, and now Foran. Yep.
Which were the schools that you guys went to together?
St. Mary's Elementary School and then East Shore Middle School.
But it's not all fun and games for the two Bryans. Both players have come a long way to get where they are right now.
When Brian first came in, he definitely had hard times. I remember watching him just get beat up for a couple years. But he listened. He was a very good listener. He worked hard, got himself in great shape, and just over time has really developed into a very good pitcher. And I think it's his smarts that help him more than anything.
Those games, when they happened, I didn't think they would help me, but over the years I realized that you just gotta take it one day at a time and not let those kind of days bother you.
O'Keefe, he's a guy who was waiting last year We had Joey Machado here, who's now pitching at Bryant. I think Joey's 3-1 for Bryant, and he's their number 2 as a freshman. He's been very patient also, and just getting himself ready and learning as much as he can.
We kind of had we set high expectations at the beginning of the season, and just following them up. So.
And both players' success is no surprise to Coach Todd Williams, who pretty much expected this, and also had some wise words for his players that he knows they followed.
They're both very talented. They're both very good athletes. They work extremely hard, and usually, I always tell them hard work pays off. It definitely has.
Well, that's just about all the time I have today. Thanks for watching the first episode of the Diamond Report. Make sure you check out the high school baseball blog on ctpost.com/blogs. And while you're at it, pick up a Connecticut Post on Friday and look for my high school baseball notebook, where I'll have more information about the 2 lefties, Brian Ward and Brian O'Keefe from Foran. I'm Henry Chisholm, and this has been the Diamond Report. See you next week.